So my name is Reese. I'm the current NJCO president, and welcome back to our brand new series here on the NJCO YouTube account, where we're going over things all JCL. This is our sub-series, Convention 101, and today we're going to be talking about graphic arts. So let's get started. What are graphic arts? Well, graphic arts are a great way to showcase our amazing artists. There are a ton of different categories that you can submit to. You're going to bring all your physical pieces to convention, and then we get to celebrate you with ribbons and certificates, stuff like that. There is also an amazing event where you get to come and you get to look at everybody's artwork, which you can see right here. It's something that I highly recommend doing. We have some amazing artists in the JCL, and it's a really fun contest. As I said before, we have a ton of different categories, but these are just the general rules that we're going to be getting into first. So this applies to all contests. They should have a classical theme or inspiration from classical art. All works must be completed after July of the previous year. Basically, what that means is we want you to start after the last national convention. So for this year, like after our convention. You must indicate all source material, no organic matter that could decay. There are some caveats, being dried or preserved things, such as animal leather or beans that you're using in a mosaic, that's fine, but do not include things like bones or taxidermy. Do not put your name anywhere on your project except for your scrapbook. When you come to convention, we'll give you an ID, and then you're going to put that on an ID, on a index card, which we'll talk about on the next slide. So you will get those back. You will get your artwork back, but just don't put your name on it. Only one entry per area. No computer-generated materials except for the following: category enhanced photography, digital scrapbooks, constructed charts and maps, and games for the rules of the games. No glass, plastic, or lamination, please. No stands for 2D art. Do not use AI. And please be aware of copyright rules. For more on that, please see the Graphic Arts General Rules on our NJCL website or in the facts. And then matting. You're going to mat your cartoons, your drawings, and your paintings. As I said before, there will be an index card. This is a 3x5 card that you're going to put in the lower right corner of all of your works, and it's going to have the following: title and a description of your work, the date that or dates that it was created, the category that you're submitting it in, the grade that you just completed, additional information such as the inspiration that you got it from, source material, any kits that you used, and then translation of any Latin. One of our categories includes illustrated quotes, so the translation of that is going to be on here. Now we're going to get into our categories. So we have drawing and painting, which includes the following categories: charcoal, ink being black or colored, oil or acrylic, pastel or chalk, black pencil, colored pencil, watercolor, and mixed media. Mixed media is a combination of these 8 specific categories. In terms of size, we have 20 by 24 inches with a max with matting. Acrylic, oil, and mixed media can use a canvas. Remember to mat again, and then these are going to be 2D works. We have greeting cards, cartoons, and illustrated quotes, which you can see here. Greeting cards, no larger than 5.5 by 8.5 inches, so just like a folded piece of paper. So it would be that when folded. You can only use Latin words. The translation must be on that 3x5 card, and then they can be serious or they can be for a specific occasion like a holiday, something like that. Cartoons, this is a single panel or a strip, no larger than 8.5 by 11, so just a normal piece of paper. It must be backed again, and then matting cannot be bigger than 1 inch, and then it should have a classical theme. We have illustrated quotes, like I said before, no bigger than 22 by 28 inches, which is a poster board, or 20 by 30 inches, which is a standard foam board. It must be hand-drawn, and the lettering must be done by hand. The quote must be an original Latin or Greek quote from an original source. That source you should put somewhere. This is not a calligraphy contest, just so you know. And then the translation must be on that 3x5 card as well. Moving on, we have charts and maps. So I'm going to move myself over here so you can see this lovely map. For sizing for charts and maps, 22 by 28 being a poster board, or 20 by 30 inches, of course, being a standard foam board. What is the difference between charts and maps? Charts are about teaching, so this can include things like floor plans and depictions of fictional places, and then maps show where things are. So journeys of mythological heroes are included in that, and stuff like that. This right here is a map. And then we have 2 different options for charts and maps. which we have drawn. So drawn charts or drawn map. These are flat, they're drawn by hand, and then we have flat pasted elements that you make. And then we have constructed charts and maps. Constructed are 3D with materials like pictures, and you can add stickers. If you have any pictures that you add, again, those need to be credited on the 3x5 card, and then the pictures would only be for charts, so not really for maps. Okay. Moving on, next up we have photography and scrapbook. For photography, you're going to submit a single image with a size of 8 by 10 inches, or if it's a panorama, 80 inches squared. You're going to match these projects again. You're going to print them on photographic weight paper. You're going to have them either in color or black and white. And then you're going to include the date and location of these pictures on the 3x5 card, but not on the picture itself. We have two categories when it comes to photography. The first is traditional, so small adjustments. You can use film or digital camera. And again, these are small manipulations to keep the image realistic. Any adjustments you are going to want to put on that 3x5 card. And so you can see one of those right here. The other category is computer enhanced. So these are significant manipulations added to the picture to make it something else, which these significant manipulations could include inverting the colors, adding a background, superimposing, stuff like that. Any sorts of changes, again, you're going to want to put on that 3x5 card along with the software that you used, and then you're going to want to attach a copy of the original source when you submit. This is an example right here of computer enhanced. When it comes to scrapbook, we have state scrapbook and local scrapbook, and then they can either be digital or paper. If it is digital, you are going to want to submit that before convention. Some general information. This is all going to include information that was either from the start of the school year to the end of the school year, or from convention to convention. This can either be national convention to national convention, or state or regional convention to regional or state convention. All the materials are going to pertain to Latin, Classics, or the JCL. You can include things like maps and brochures if they are related to an activity that you did. So for example, if for your state or with your school, for example, you went to Rome, those brochures totally fine. If you include Latin or Greek quotes, make sure that you include the translation. You can also get bonus points if you send the NJCO historian pictures for the NJCO scrapbook by July 1st. And in that email, you're going to want to include your name, your state, and your school. So, some rules for digital. You're going to want to cite non-original sources like any music, art, and software that you used in that submission. When it comes to paper, we have a 22 by 28 maximum for scrapbook pages. It must be one volume, no glass covers, but things like plexiglass are okay. You will get some minus points if you purchase the scrapbook, which leads to the other thing. We really encourage handmade items. Okay. Moving on, these are our handicrafts. We have dolls, games, textiles, and decorative stitching and jewelry. For dolls, again, handmade, try to do as much stitching by hand. You can either enter a single doll or a group of dolls. These could include things like monsters, historical characters, mythological characters, which you can see right over here. And then again, no kits. I'm really trying to emphasize handmade goods. Games, please include a container for the game and the list of equipment. No computer-generated graphics, but you can print out the rules and the text in your game. Make as many elements of the game by hand. And then note these are original games that are classics related. Textiles and decorative stitching. This includes things like batik, weaving, sewing, and embroidery. The work should be flat with even stitches. This does not include things like banners, shirts, or fabric painted, puffy paint, iron-on transfer, stuff like that. Again, try not to use kits. Jewelry should be handmade and it should be mounted. Next up, we have mosaics, pottery, sculpture, large models, small models, and weapons and armor. Mosaics should be made on a firm background with no spaces between the tesserae. Tesserae are going to be firmly placed and of similar size. And then the lines, if you had any pencil lines to show where to place them, they can't be seen. So make sure that they're not there. In terms of sizing, no bigger than 28 inches in height or width. Pottery should be handmade in a classical container of some kind. Sculpture. They can either be done in the round or they can be a relief cut from a flat surface. Again, handmade. Large models. This is what separates a large model from a size model. It's going to be sizing. So no larger than 36 inches being in height, width, and depth, but it has to be larger than 12 inches. If it is smaller than 12 inches, that is a small model. Large models are going to be more detailed than small models, and small models are going to be less detailed than larger models. Next up, weapons and armor. This is replicate armor or weapons of Greece or Roman weapons or armor. They are going to be blunted, so if you are coming with a sword, please blunt that. Any authentic techniques that you used, you want to highlight that on your 3x5 cards. And then when it comes to sizing, a maximum of 36 inches in width, height, and depth. Next up, we have digital art. These are both going to be submitted before convention. Digital art is a piece of digital art or a digital poster to promote the JCL or the classics. It should be original in concept. To submit, you're going to go to the Google form, which you can find on the graphic arts packet in the folder, which you're going to find on the NJCL website or in the facts. It can be any size. You're going to want to submit it as a digital file. It should be the highest resolution, please no lower than 300 dpi, optimally 600 or above. Do not use AI. Be especially careful with copyright, and note that this might be used by the NJCL. If you want to allow it, you have to fill out the form, which you can find on the virtual contest document. Off-the-wall classical art. For this, you're going to want to choose a classically themed artwork, and you're going to want to recreate it. You can use family members, pets, dolls, or stuffed animals right here. You can see one where they used fruit and stuff like that. You are going to want to cite the title artist and link to the source that you are recreating. And again, no AI. Now we are on our final contest. This is Impromptu Art. This happens at convention, and you have 45 minutes to make a piece out of materials that are provided. You're going to want to sign up at GA registration, and it's just really fun. You get to bond with other JCLers. You get to test out your creativity at convention, and you get to make some really cool pieces of art while meeting new friends. So highly recommend that. Resources. I highly recommend you go to our NJCO website and you look at the rules for the specific contest that you're being a part of, just to make sure that you don't violate any of those rules and you can submit your amazing work at convention. So that is right here in this QR code. If you have any questions or concerns, talk to your teacher, your sponsor, email the graphic arts chair or email me. The graphic arts chair's email is graphicarts@njcl.org and mine is president@njcl.org. So that is all for today. We went through a lot. Hopefully you found this video helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Karate!